I put stickers all over Melbourne City in support of trans rights. Here's how I did it. If you haven't already heard, there have been a few very turfy protests going on all over Australia. Basically, British turf Posy Parker, this doofus, decided to come over to Australia in order to protest for women's rights, under the idea that she wanted to let women speak. How did she do this? By speaking for women, of course. Now, you might be wondering, how would fighting for women's rights be at all transphobic? Well, as all the normal feminists protest against anti-abortion laws and tackle rhetorics that imply that female rape victims are at fault for wearing skimpy clothing, Rosie Marker focuses her attention on the real problems here, which are trans women in sports and bathrooms, of course. You know, typical TERF shit. Now, I could go on about the flaws in the trans women in sports and bathrooms arguments, such as the fact that hormone replacement therapy reduces muscle mass to be cis female equivalent after 1 or 2 years, or the fact that actual rapists don't actually care what symbol is on the bathroom door, or even the fact that height differences exist and yet people don't treat those as unfair. But we would be here for a while if I did that. Instead, I'm going to talk about what happened in my home city, Melbourne. Cozy Charter hosted one of her protests in front of the Parliament House in Melbourne City on March the 18th with a little TERF friends. And I want you to guess who exactly came over to show her support. Who is the one group of people that you never want to be protesting with in any given situation? That's right. Fucking neo-Nazis. Now you might be asking yourself, why would a bunch of neo-Nazis show support to women's rights movement when they haven't exactly treated women like human beings in the past? I wonder. It doesn't help that these Nazis had a banner implying that trans women are pedophiles. You know, just like what the Nazis did to gay people back in 1933. This fight against pedophilia would probably feel a little more genuine if they held that sign in front of a church, but I digress. Now, since Australia doesn't exactly have as much high concentration of TERF brain rot like the UK does, the general public in Australia and all the major news sources very easily took the side of the trans activists and absolutely shit on the Nazis and TERFs. Good job, Australia. This, of course, didn't stop a few bugger brains from claiming that the TERFs weren't actually on the side of the Nazis, or that the Nazis weren't actually Nazis at all, despite the fact that they were literally doing the Nazi salute, and that there has been video footage of anti-trans protestees posing for the Nazis and even giving them fucking handshakes. Some of the turd worms went as far as to claim that the Nazis in question were actually trans people in disguise, or that they were Antifa. Do I even need to explain why this is fucking dogshit stupid? Of course, we must also talk about the police. Now, I get it. The trans activists were a much larger group of people than the Nazis and TERFs, and things could have gotten violent very, very easily. But fucking pepper spraying trans activists who dare try to shout at Nazis while they let the fucking Nazis up the steps of the Parliament House? It's a little dystopian. So, overall, it was a bit of a fucked protest. And funnily enough, all it seemed to do was get the Victorian government to ban the Nazi salute. But what was I doing when this was all happening? Well, I was crossfaded at home watching everything unfold on Twitter because I still thought that it was the 17th. And so I had an idea, an epiphany, if you will. I wanted to do something. I wanted to finally be the activist I've always wanted to be and make some kind of impact on this situation. So I opened up Photoshop, dragged in the trans flag, put a filter on it, and smacked some words on it. And I thought to myself, this looks shit, but it'll do. I had a plan to make stickers and put them all over Melbourne City so that I can reinforce the public opinion on trans people whilst also making sure that people know that these TERFs protested with Nazis. I posted my design onto the trans subreddit and was met with a lot of positive feedback. Most importantly, however, I inspired someone else to make their own version of the sticker and I fucking loved it. This new design got rid of the problem where people could confuse the movement in question with the trans movement, but I still decided to use both designs as my design had a separate advantage of being more eye-catching. After tweaking my sticker design to look a little better and to include my movement's logo called the Diverse Platforms Association, I looked for the products I needed in Officeworks online and planned where exactly I was going to put these stickers. My plan was to mark certain points of interest in Melbourne and draw a route where I would place stickers along the way, from point of interest to point of interest. And from here, I was ready to enact my plan. Before I continue, I just need to address some rules that I made beforehand. I made these rules so that I made sure that my stickers didn't cause any harm, and so that my protest got the message across in the least intrusive way possible. The rules that I set go as follows. No placing stickers anywhere that would obstruct information and/or art, with the exception of problematic graffiti and propaganda. No placing stickers on windows and other glass surfaces. Public transport is fair game, with the exception of cabs and rentals. No placing stickers on private properties such as vehicles and clothing. All waste must not be littered and should be recycled if possible. All stickers must be placed outside. Any confrontation must be handled maturely and without any escalation. No placing stickers on memorials or shrines. And of course, churches are fair game. Don't be a pussy. With that being said, let's get on with my plan. On the 20th of March, just 2 days after the event of Saturday's protest, I set out to South Yarra to get my stickers printed. I got myself 52 up and 104 up label sheets and planned to print my design on every single label. This would give me 100 stickers half the size of an A4 piece of paper and 400 stickers a quarter of the size, giving me a total of 500 stickers. I wanted to get the eco-friendly versions of these sheets, but they only came in packs of 20, which isn't very cost-effective. But I was relieved to see that for every sheet purchased from this company, they plant a tree, as stated on the Officeworks website. So I was happy about that. I got my stickers printed at the front desk and was finally ready to start my passive protest. In total, this cost me $225.76 Australian, including a pair of scissors. I was going to manually cut these stickers to get rid of the white borders, but after cutting a few of the 2-up sheets, I realized that it was more of a hassle than anything. So I just took what I had as being good enough. My plan was to apply the bigger stickers around the points of interest, and apply the smaller ones everywhere else. I believe that this was the most optimal way of placing my stickers, in order to grasp the most attention, whilst also conserving as many stickers as possible. I made my way towards South Yarra Station, and took the train to Flinders Street Station in the city, before losing my backup phone on the train, but I recovered it from Lost and Found later, so it was okay. After some problems with my Mikey, I was finally able to place my first sticker in the city at Flinders Street. I was very nervous placing the first stickers, as I wouldn't know how people around me would react. But I was relieved to see that no one actually gave a shit, and just took a quick glance and then just went on with the day, which supported my idea that Melbourne's public opinion saw my stickers as apolitical, because everyone knows that Nazis are bad. After placing the initial stickers, I made my way clockwise around Flinders Street Station and placed the 4-up stickers all around the block, making my way back to where I started. I was very happy to see that my stickers were still there and that no one had tried to remove them. My next point of interest was the town hall just north of my position, and as I walked towards the next location, I placed more stickers on streetlights, traffic light poles, and building walls. I've been putting some of these on fucking buses and trams. It's gonna fucking spread. Let's fucking go. After I was done with the town hall, I headed west towards the next position of interest, and got lost. Bit of a confession, I am really bad at following a map, and it didn't help that with this next point of interest I forgot to name it. So I had no idea what I was looking for. So I was like, fuck it, and just moved on to the Eureka Skydeck. Eureka Skydeck. Got one over there. Gonna put another one on that blue wall over there. Sick. After visiting the Skydeck, I headed south towards the National Gallery of Victoria, or at least the general direction of it. Fucking see that tram over there. I fucking put it upside down. Fucking bruh. After a tiny break, I put my stickers at the gallery and started treading deeper into the Alexandra Gardens, where I would spend the next hour placing stickers. Are they making a fucking plane? I decided to ignore the map a bit and go clockwise around the garden instead of anti-clockwise, mainly because I suck at reading maps, but I would visit the same locations either way. After letting my legs rest a bit and filling up my water bottle at a nearby tap, I crossed the bridge over the Yarra River and made my way towards the next 2 points of interest, Rod Laver Arena and the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Technically, the Melbourne Cricket Ground isn't considered inside the borders of Melbourne City, But I wanted to put some stickers there anyway because it was a very popular location. I finally made it to the cricket ground and placed a few 2-up stickers. In retrospect, I probably should have placed a little more while I was there, but there weren't that many surfaces that would support stickers, so I placed what I could. It was time to meet the last 2 points of interest before entering the main point of interest, being the Parliament House. My next 2 locations were Cook's Cottage and Fitzroy Gardens, but I had a slight problem. The map had fallen out of my pocket without me noticing. So I've lost the fucking map. It just fell out of my pocket. Because, only men's clothing is allowed to have pockets that actually fucking work, but, After finally leaving the park, it was time for my main point of interest, and by far the scariest. The Parliament House. This location was very different than the others, as this location had police guarding the building at all times, and police are very scary. It didn't deter me, however, as I continued my plan as usual. Of course, this didn't end up as planned. The police told me to take down the stickers as soon as they noticed what I was doing. I wasn't filming at this time, but here's an accurate recreation I made based on my memory. Hello. Oi! Take that down. You can't put that there. Oh yeah, sorry. I just couldn't put it over there because it wasn't sticky enough. No, mate. I mean, you can't put those around this building. Oh. Is that right? I want you to take that one over there off that fucking building as well, please. Alright. I mean, you had Nazis come up here. I'd say a sticker isn't all that bad in comparison, but whatever. That one's not mine. In all seriousness, I got lucky. Maybe it was my ability to not escalate the situation, or the fact that these cops weren't the same ones that protected the Nazis, but that could have ended a lot worse. One of the police was super nice though, saying that I could place the stickers pretty much anywhere else. After that little confrontation, I decided to stop at the Macca's close to Chinatown. I was pretty exhausted at this point, and my dad told me that it was getting late and that I should probably start heading home. I only made my way through half of Melbourne City, and I was pretty bummed that I wouldn't be able to make it to the other places. But I decided to listen to both my dad and my limits, and started heading back to Flinders Street Station. I was very pleased to see that the stickers I had placed at the start of the day were still there, which proved to me even more that Melbourne is a very trans-positive city, and that the vast majority of people here aren't absolute cunts. I was finally done with my adventure, and I made it onto the train and finally headed back home. I walked around Melbourne City for approximately 7 hours and placed a total of 254 stickers, 24 2-ups and 234 ups. I believe that I was very successful in my journey, and hopefully I helped make Australia more trans-positive, even if it was by a small fraction. I encourage others to do the same as I did, as it was a very good way to finally get some exercise and made me feel like I was doing my part. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to share with all your friends and family, and spread the word that Nazis and TERFs alike are not welcome in Australia. It's been a while since I've actually posted anything on this channel, but hopefully I'll be able to produce some more music, or maybe even do some more activist stuff. Who knows? This channel has been around since 2013 and I still have no idea what it's about. I also like making games, so if you're interested in that, make sure to check out my Game Jolt page down in the description, or maybe even give me a cool game idea in the comments. I'd love to hear your suggestions. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye! You guys want to see me put one on that pole? Fuck.